Everything is ready. The pork is in the oven with the foil off now, and a quick, satisfying peek confirms that the crackling will be done to perfection. Just how Ben likes it. The apple crumble, with my own special oaty topping, sits on the side, and I have a big carton of Marks and Spencer's vanilla custard stowed away in the fridge. I find nobody notices a little cheat, so long as it's just here and there. The trick is not to overdo it. I've always enjoyed cooking. It's one of the few things I genuinely feel good at. In recent years, I've become engrossed in programmes like MasterChef and The Great British Bake Off, and my enthusiasm has grown in direct relation to my family's love of eating my food. My Sunday lunches have become quite the family tradition. I glance at the clock. 30 minutes, and my boys will all be here. The back door opens, and Henry's grinning face appears.
Something smells good.
He shuffles into the kitchen, his old leather boots shedding ridges of freshly mowed grass onto the newly swept kitchen tiles. They'll be here in about 30 minutes. I turn away, plunging my hands into a sink full of scalding hot soapy water. You were going to show the boys some photographs after lunch, remember?
Ah, yes, so I was,
he says. I hear him kicking off his boots in the utility room.
I'll scoot up to the attic right now. Any chance of a cuppa?
When I pull my fingers out of the water, I see they are chapped and red. The once tight, smooth skin on the backs of my hands is on the turn, a little crepey and slower to snap back when pinched. I used to be a stickler for wearing rubber gloves and using hand cream. I can't recall when I stopped doing it. I close my eyes briefly and endure the steaming water, which continues to sting hard. I suck in air and hold it in for a moment or two. My heart is racing, and my knees feel weak for no apparent reason. It keeps happening at the most inconvenient of times. It's okay, I tell myself. It'll soon pass. It's the thought of everything I've still got to do. Lunch, that's all it is. But the slightest thing just lately feels like there's a mountain to scale. I always long for everything to be just perfect, but it hardly ever is. Soon the boys will be here, and the house will be transformed into a home once more. Noisy, glorious chaos again, just like when Ben and David were young. Long before the bad decisions and the terrible consequences. Over a period of 10 years, when we were first married, Henry worked his way up to the position of branch manager at the big National Westminster Bank in the centre of Nottingham. Some might say we had a staid, predictable life back then, but I'd never longed for the glitz and glamour of London that some of his colleagues had chased, or even, for that matter, a career of my own. I'd been happiest homemaking, baking bread and spending school holidays with the boys, growing vegetables down at the allotment, or during the summer at our little holiday cottage in Staithes, where Henry would join us at the weekends. We didn't rent it out, it was for our own use only. Our wonderful little bolt hole against the world. Now, I find it difficult to even think about those times. Henry appears at my side.
Penny for them?
He presses a little closer to me, as if he can read my thoughts. I push the image of the cottage from my mind. Snatching my hands out of the water, I flick off the bubbles. Just running through what's left to do for lunch. I grab a tea towel and dab at my scarlet hands. Henry takes a step back.
I just asked if you wanted me to lay the table before I hunt out those old photos.
No, that's fine, thanks. I'll do it. I reach for my glass of water and take a sip in a bid to relieve my dry mouth. I've bought the boys some Thomas the Tank Engine napkins. Henry begins to shuffle out of the kitchen, then hesitates, turns back.
I thought they were into all that superhero business now. Marvel characters and the like.
That stuff is too violent. I don't want to encourage it. Pass me a clean tea towel, will you? I strain the potatoes, add butter and full cream milk, and begin to mash. After a few minutes, I hear Henry scrabbling around in the attic above my head, searching for the photographs. I heard him telling Noah and Josh, earlier in the week, about the things their dad and Uncle David got up to at the